Reena Bhargava. She's the co-founder of and CEO of BioTrax AI, and they provide personalized longevity and preventive care powered by Agentic AI. So, welcome, Reena.
Thanks again for giving us this opportunity, Uli. As my TPMG Kaiser physician colleague, this is an amazing journey for me as well. I'm an internist, and I've been an internist for more than 20 years, following the USPTF guidelines, following what the American College of Cardiology says, and so forth. But we know there's a gap, and the data tells a different story. The 2022 Journal of American Cardiology study showed that only 6.8% of Americans have good cardiometabolic health. So 1 in 14 of them do not. 1 in 5 of my patients have elevated Lp(a). That's an inherited cardiovascular risk factor, tripling the risk for cardiovascular disease. But that is not checked on any standard lipid panel in our current traditional care system. And more than a third of of American adults have prediabetes, and 80% don't know it because fasting glucose doesn't catch that. Insulin resistance isn't checked for. So these are the gaps, because our guidelines for how we practice medicine were designed to catch disease, not specifically prevent each of these early on. And so far, we didn't have the clinical infrastructure for this gap in what would be longevity medicine, precision medicine, and preventive medicine. So the problem you see is that this precision health market is growing, $100+ billion. There is a clear demand. Patients, consumers are spending millions out of pocket on longevity testing. They get their results, and then now what? And this comment on Reddit is a very common one. I spend $500 on testing. The results are overwhelming, and I have no idea what to prioritize. And then let's talk about the clinicians, their frustration on a missed opportunity to take care of their patients, to be able to participate in this fragmented testing market with this exploding consumer demand. So the solution, AI with doctor in the loop. Let's integrate all of this, the longevity medicine with ongoing care, not episodic biomarker testing. And so you have the member and the physician working together to order the longevity tests, agentic AI tools to support our physicians to help analyze and personalize this with physician validation, and then personalized therapeutics, whatever they might need, whether they need lipid-lowering medications, blood pressure-lowering medications. Let's catch them before disease happens, and as Dinesh just presented, even their complications, kidney disease, etc. So what is the BioTrax AI product? It's an integrated dual-sided platform for physicians where there's longevity intelligence layer added on an AI engine with secure HIPAA-compliant EMR and biomarker testing and results that have actionable insights that can really make a difference. So there's tracking and goals that we can watch for. And for the patients and members on that side, AI tools, a doctor, biomarkers, digital twin, wearables integrated, maybe the last device we talked about, and a marketplace to do things better. So what would be the value proposition for physicians? Increased revenue, fair enough, they take care of the patients, an expanded scope of practice in preventive longevity medicine with efficient AI-enabled clinical tools. And then for our members, for everybody out there, personalized physician-guided insights, biomarker test reports with actionable insights, and continuity of care, tracking results, helping achieve goals. What's the market opportunity? Kind of look at those big numbers, $1.4 trillion for longevity market expected by 2029. And for precision medicine, an annual growth of 16.5% currently, with over $100 billion there. For the US primary care physicians, there are more than 500,000, with more than 40% in private practice. So at scale, we're talking about an ARR of about 500 million, with conservative estimates of touching just 1% of those physicians, with maybe them reaching out to 200 of their patients and spending 500 annually. The business model, a dual-sided platform revenue. For physicians, a SaaS model with recurring revenue, AI-enhanced test reports that gives them a lot of leverage, a lot of information that they can work with within the constraints of time that our physicians do have, consultations. And then for the patients and members, platform subscription, biomarker testing, tracking, AI coach, marketplace. And the team. I'm Reena Bhargava. I was a medical director at Kaiser for 20 plus years in digital medicine and building clinical protocols for more than 4 million patients in Northern California, triple board certified. Gautam Bhargava has founded and exited 2 VC-funded companies, one in speech technology, sold to Cisco, one in visual search, sold to Amazon, and then ran all of Amazon's visual search and augmented reality for more than 10 years. He's got more than 40 software patents to his name and recently led an LLM development with deployments with a very large one. And Andrea brings her years of experience, previous experience at Function Health, product development. So the financial projections going through physician practices, going through, again, the double-sided platform of going to consumers directly, but again, a huge focus being our practices. We're seeing, and you saw our conservative estimates, this is how we see the annual revenue grow with a 3-year projection. The core IP advantage, this is not Dr. ChatGPT. Used to be Dr. Google, not Dr. ChatGPT. This is because it adds much more. It adds context. The Agentic AI analyzes clinical stuff, the biomarker stuff, the lifestyle data, the genomics, the physician-led targeted therapeutic protocols, personalized interventions, and a continuous feedback loop. Our funding ask, we have a safe of $1 million, and the use of funds would be to develop this platform further with AI model enhancement. We have not raised capital yet, and we are just a few weeks away from launch with an amazing tech team and many other folks. Obviously would need to go to customer acquisition, physician education, team expansion, and AI to scale and democratize this longevity care. We've got a world-class advisory board with 2 Stanford professors, one in preventive cardiology, another in sports medicine and exercise. Dr. Prentice Tom, who's Chief Medical Officer of a very large ER physicians group, physician CEOs of 2 telemed companies, CEO of a large longevity initiatives policy group, and we have 2 letters of intent signed from 2 physician groups. So I'm Reena Bhargava. Reach out to us. I look forward to this journey, and I will stop sharing at this point.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Reena. So you talked about, how many patients you need and how many physicians you need in your first year. Now, are you going to do both sides at the same time, or are you going to acquire physician customers first and then through them go to the patients? What is your strategy there?
Yeah, strategy is to start with the physicians. Want to start with the physicians, iterate that, make sure that that journey is as near perfect as possible. And then, obviously, the moment we start with physicians, they're opening it up to patients. Will get insight about that, but this will be, way more curated. So because it'll be going through the physicians, and then a few weeks later, launch to the consumers at large. So our beachhead really it is going to be physicians. We've got physician champions who have been who are excited to get this going and who have contributed significantly in building this.
Right. Thank you. Susie, go ahead.
Yeah, my question, I thought actually you were going to ask the same question I was thinking about, Yuli. Um, I know on your slide that you mentioned getting into 300 physician practices in year one. And you mentioned that that was a conservative estimate. To me, that actually sounds like a pretty aggressive estimate, just based on kind of what I know about market entry and the buying cycle times and everything else. So I'd like to know, you mentioned that you have two letters of intent. Are those large physician groups? Are they MSOs? Do you have some type of agreement with like an EHR marketplace or something like that that's going to help you get to that 300 number?
Yeah, great question. So the first one is with this large physician group that is purely in GYN hormonal care. And so they will be sending, they've got a really large base of patients, and they will be taking care of only the women's hormonal stuff. Everything else they'll send to our side, and we will send them, it'll be co-referral, we'll send them the female hormonal stuff. And then the second letter of intent is with a physician group of about, the first person's going to try that as a physician champion, and with 35 physicians. I'm in the second physician CEO is part of a very large telemed group, and we have a meeting coming up, and they've expressed a lot of interest in partnering and seeing synergy. So we're going there. Tomorrow I have another meeting with another very large group who are interested, and let's see how that pans out. So it is where, where we see an opportunity to partner with larger groups to make that, make that happen. And the interest so far is very promising.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Atta Pilram, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes, very, very good presentation. I'm interested to know what type of biomarkers, especially longevity biomarkers, and any inflammatory response biomarkers included in this. And the third part is how these biomarkers are being, how the blood test was done.
Yeah, definitely. So these that we're covering all the inflammatory biomarkers. We're covering those for picking up cardiometabolic health. There'll be genotyping. There'll also be gut biome. There'll be multi-cancer early detection. So it's the whole gamut. But early on, and even neurodegenerative diseases. So there's that part of things. And right from the onset, we'll have also tools for dementia screening and dementia prevention. So this is going to be an integrated, comprehensive platform to not only identify, our risk factors, but also tools to do better, to track and do better.
Great. Thank you. Joe Tumolo, go ahead.
Yeah, this is more of a suggestion. The idea is something that I've heard before, but what I'm thinking is it all comes down to execution. Are you going to be able to actually move the market the way that you say you're going to? And I would highly recommend that you start with who you are, your co-founder, and your advisory board. Because it wasn't until you got there that I said, oh gosh, she might pull this off. it's a really impressive list of folks that you have. And I'm a big fan of photos and logos when it comes to teams. I think that it breaks things up, it makes things more personal. And when I see AWS, when I see exited to Cisco, or whatever it is, when I see those logos up there, those are very memorable. And I think it would establish to your audience that we're legit, we can execute on this, and I'm going to tell you a big idea, and you can trust that we're going to make sure that we pull it off.
Great, good point.
Feedback. Thank you. I so appreciate that.
Thank you, Joe.